Yo, what's going on, everybody? You are watching Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and welcome in. Let's start off with some great news for this week. And the Vikings, they won't be trading Justin Jefferson this offseason. No duh. This is actually coming in from Alec Lewis in his recent article saying this. The only trade worth completely ruling out is anything involving Justin Jefferson. So, obviously, Jett is not going to get traded. He is the same value as like Patrick Mahomes in the Chiefs organization, Josh Allen in the Bills. The Vikes have no interest in trading number 18. But I thought this was interesting because Alex said pretty much every other player is available for trade on the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, they won't be willingly trading guys like Christian Darrisaw or, potentially a Jonathan Gennard. But if the right deal comes across the table, I think a lot of moves could happen for the Vikings this offseason considering how strapped they are against the cap. But some topics we're going to be discussing today. What is the Vikings' plan at the running back position? It is looking like Aaron Jones will be cut. And then Alec Lewis revealed a top free agent target for the Minnesota Vikings. And we do have the latest around Rob Brzezinski. And then could the Vikings be taking an Indiana center in the 5th round? We'll talk about it all on today's show. But if you guys could, hit that subscribe button today. If you guys do that, you guys will receive daily Vikings videos all year long. And what do I get from you guys hitting that subscribe button? Your free support to create more content here on YouTube. The more subs we get, the more content we'll have this week. We got the scouting combine in Indianapolis. It's going to be a lot of fun, and a lot of news and rumors will come out of there. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Don't miss a thing around your Minnesota Vikes. All right, let's talk about Aaron Jones. Obviously, Aaron Jones is a potential cut candidate for the Minnesota Vikings. Right now, the Vikings are $40 million over the cap, so they got to make a bunch of moves. And with the Vikings having the ability to save $7.75 million by cutting Aaron Jones, I think they're going to exercise this option, and he will be cut from the Vikes. But if they do cut Aaron Jones, fully expect the Vikings to make another move at the running back position. And Alec Lewis chimed in on it, saying this year's crop of draftable running backs is not as deep as last spring's. Notre Dame's Jeremiah Love is a future star. His Fighting Irish teammate, Jadarian Price, is another talented runner. There are intriguing talents, such as Washington's Jonah Coleman and Nebraska's Emmett Johnson, but Minnesota would be betting big on those players contributing as rookies. The more likely outcome would be a free agent acquisition. Now, I fully expect the Vikings to add more running back talent to this room this offseason, whether that is drafting a guy potentially in the 2nd round, like a Jadarian Price, or you take a guy on day 3, with the 4th or 5th round selection. But I think it's more likely that the Vikings will target their running back during free agency, and there's a lot of good options out there. You got a physical bruising back like Tyler Algier. You got the pass catcher in Kenneth Gainwell. Well, Kenneth Gainwell, as it stands right now, is my top free agent choice for the Vikings at the running back position. We also got a guy like Rico Dowdle. You got a kind of a home run superstar pickup and Travis Etienne, then another great pass catching option in Rachaad White. But if I had to pick any, I would pick Kenneth Gainwell. But you guys want to know your thoughts. Name a running back the Vikings should sign. Doesn't have to be on this list that we're showing you guys right now, but my guy would be Kenneth Gainwell. But you guys chime in down below. Name a running back the Vikings should sign. All right, so Alec Lewis was also asked about a potential free agent target for the Minnesota Vikings, and he listed a big-name option here, a guy who had some great production for the Denver Broncos, that being John Franklin Myers. This is what Alec had to say, saying, take on a boatload of cap space at quarterback, and the Vikings would need some savvy signings elsewhere. But he also said pay minimally at QB. The Vikings could try to go big on defensive linemen, like Denver Broncos defensive tackle, John Franklin Myers. Now, The Athletic, right now they have John Franklin Myers signing a 3-year, $54 million contract. It's big-time money at the defensive tackle spot, and especially since the Vikings already paid Hargraves, paid Allen last offseason, would they want to go back down that road? I have my doubts there, but adding more talent to the defensive line is huge because Brian Flores, even though he has the highest blitz rate in the NFL, he has talked about it over and over again during his press conferences, how he wants to get his defense to a level where they just need to send 4 and get home at an extremely high rate. John Franklin Myers, no doubt, would help that cause. Now, this past season for Denver, he was really, really good. Even the past 2 seasons, he's been fantastic, always staying healthy, which is huge, but 7.5 sacks. This past season, 7 sacks. In 2024, played some good football even with the New York Jets. But the thing where I'm kind of wary on John Franklin Myers would be the Broncos' defensive line was absolutely stacked this past season. I mean, Zach Allen, Nick Bonito, they had pass rushers all over the field. So his job was not as big as it would be potentially with the Minnesota Vikings. But if he were to join the Minnesota Vikings, they would have a stacked defensive line as well. I mean, this 5-man group you could have of rushing the quarterback would be sweet. Now, we were also showing the same graphic last year with Hargrave and Jonathan Allen. Obviously, didn't end up working out, but the Vikings were still elite at getting home to the quarterback. But if you had Grenard, Franklin Myers, Redmond, Dallas Turner, and Andrew Van Ginkel kind of playing that star position, like that would be elite five-man front you could have on third and long situations. So you guys let me know. Would you sign JFM to this deal? 3 years, $54 million. Give me a Y for yes. Give me an N for no. I would probably say no on this contract, but I could also hear you guys out if you guys would sign JFM to this deal. But you guys let me know your thoughts down below. Now, I do want to give a massive shout-out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is Harry's, a shaving company, and it's completely changed how I view shaving my face every single day. Now, for a limited time, our listeners can get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/chat. Now, everything in my life has leveled up besides my razors. My phone is basically a supercomputer. Your car basically parks itself. Your headphones cancel noise like magic. But your razors, they're still flimsy, still overpriced, and still stuck in 2008. But that's not the case at Harry's. You get a great clean shave. The handle is their heaviest handle ever, which allows you to have added comfort and control. And it's got an advanced pivoting system to help you reach every corner of your face. It's got refined blade tech for a close, smoother shave with their heaviest handle ever. And Harry's owns their own world-class blade factory in Germany, so there's no outsourcing, no middleman, and that same facility has been perfecting blade making for over 100 years. Harry doesn't just make razors. They got a full line of grooming essentials from shave gel to deodorant to body wash, all thoughtfully made and priced to stock up. So for a limited time, our listeners can get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/chat. The set includes the all-new Harry's Plus razor, one refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head to harrys.com/chat to claim this offer, and after you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you here at Vikings Now. All right, let's talk about Rob Brzezinski here. Right now, the acting GM for the Minnesota Vikings. Could he keep that role for the rest of the season? When an NFL agent gave Alec Lewis a quote, it was pretty interesting. He said this. He said, one of the top 5 guys in the business that I've dealt with. I'm talking about the combination of personally friendly, a diligent professional, someone you can disagree with without it becoming personal. So clearly some high praise here from whatever NFL agent this is. And if I had to give my best guess, Rob Brzezinski will probably be the GM for the Minnesota Vikings for the foreseeable future. Now, will this be him signing a 3-4-year contract with Minnesota? Probably not the situation, but at least for the next year, I would assume Brzezinski will be the GM. Now, obviously, the Vikings have to go through the whole interview process where they have to fulfill the Rooney Rule, which will be under display after the NFL draft. But what if Brzezinski's the GM for this year, and then he's a placeholder for a guy like George Paton? Now, George Paton, obviously very tapped in with the Vikings organization before he left to go to the Denver Broncos. He has been fantastic drafting and signing some key free agents. If the Vikings could somehow land Paton, sign me up for that any day of the week. All right, let's kick it back here to the NFL draft and talk about the Vikings potentially drafting Indiana center Pat Congdon in the 5th round. Now, Pat Congdon is an absolute mauler. This guy is not a physical freak by any means. He probably won't test that well at the scouting combine, but this guy is a damn good football player. And Alec Lewis said this, saying, for those who aren't as into their draft studies, here's the skinny on Congdon. He was the center for the Indiana team that won the national championship. Before that, he started at Notre Dame. Congdon might not light up the explosiveness ratings at the combine, but he's smart and reliable. Even if the Vikings sign a free agent center on the interior of the offensive line, like Congdon could fit in the later rounds. So yes, Jeff, there is a chance other players in a similar ilk are Kansas State's Sam Hecht and Miami's James Brockmeyer. So I think the Vikings are obviously going to target center at some point in the NFL draft. Now, how early will that be? TBD, but Congdon is obviously one of the betters in college football this past season. Indiana, really good offensive line, but he was that glue. He was the centerpiece that was really making it all go, and I love his height and weight combination. I mean, 6'5", 311 pounds at the center spot, big offensive lineman. The Vikings, you already got your guards. You need more out of Will Fries this upcoming year. You like where your tackle position is at, but if they could shore up that center spot, you should be creating one of the better offensive lines in the league. But it all comes back to Kevin O'Connell. Can you start running the football a little more? Make those offensive linemen happy, and also make your quarterback's life a whole lot easier. Now, if you guys made it to the end of today's show, hit me with those SKOLs down below in the comment section. Some great content coming out all this week. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on your way out, and we'll see you guys next time. As always,